じゃないか。ああ。
先輩。私やっぱり先輩のこと大好きです。これからもずっと隣にいてくれますか？
これは。
So we just finished episode number 11 of 2.5 Dimensional Seduction, and the narrative and like kind of my opinion on the show overall has really changed the past couple of episodes. I would say the past 3 episodes, including this one, have really changed, and the show's entertainment value has just kind of really gone down. And I was really thinking to myself, why is that? And the reality is this show still had moments of what I'm liking about this show, but then what I don't like about this show is so apparent. Last week's episode, when I was talking to everybody in the comments, somebody definitely went in and they commented that, and I can't get it out of my head. They commented that, it's sad to see, or it sucks to see, half or more than half of the episode be filled with dialogue between 1, 2, or 3 characters that they don't hear. So it had Nagomi, it had Sensei, and it had Ririsa all in their own heads talking and talking and talking, this internal dialogue, but there's also conversation between these 2 characters that they were just having with looks and stuff. Like they're just like, oh, and they're like, oh, this person, blah, blah, blah. They're like, oh, they're backing in. It just doesn't happen in real life. And I get, at the end of the day, this is fiction. It's fictional. It's somebody's story. It's supposed to be exaggerated. But it's one of those things to where if I look at you, I'm just, you don't know what the hell I'm thinking. It just doesn't happen. So you can't have this dialogue between 2 people happening without dialogue between the 2 people happening. And it just ate up most of last episode. And then this episode, it happened again where Nagomi and Ririsa were having this dialogue once again, mostly filled with Nagomi towards Ririsa, that just simply wasn't happening. But then they're going to depict the characters, congregating or talking or getting along after the fact, like if the dialogue did happen. Same thing with Nagomi and her manager or whatever. She was like, oh, this is the Nagomi that I've always wanted, whatever. It's like, how can you tell? Like, how can you even understand that? You know what I mean? Like, how do you even really kind of get it? It just doesn't make sense to me. And it is a little bit, annoying when most of the episode is just kind of filled with this stuff that isn't actually happening. So that was a frustrating point. Now, with this episode specifically, that also did occur once again. And I was like, what is it about the show specifically that I'm not really digging? Like, what was the turn? Well, first off, I hate how they introduced a core character in Mikuri, however you want to pronounce her name. And they just completely forgot her. Now, thankfully, she did show up again at the tail end of this episode for like a moment, because Ririsa, basically she got outed, this episode, and I'm sure there's some shenanigans on the chalkboard or whatever the hell you call it. But they finally was like, oh shit, they remember that Mikuri, she exists as a character. Wow. I was like, it just took forever for her to exist once again. And the other thing that I was thinking of is like cosplay anime or anime around this specific topic, even though it is a romance, comedy, whatever anime, but the core plot or the core value proposition is like, hey, here's this anime centered around cosplay. And I was like, cool, that's awesome. I don't really have a point of comparison. Truly, the only point of comparison that I have is My Dress Up Darling. That's the only other anime that I have that it's in the same realm of anime. And I'm like, what did that show? And to be clear, I hate having to bring in a different anime or a different video game or whatever to kind of prove my point. But I think it's just kind of to tell you kind of like how I'm feeling. When it comes to My Dress Up Darling, I think the thing that made it really special was, yes, it's also about, the dolls and it's about the cosplay, but what made it special was more about how the two main characters of that show, and if you haven't watched it, please go watch it. But the two main characters of that show, their journey to the cosplay. So in that show, you know, that their names are Kitagawa and Marin. Doesn't really matter, but you have the two main characters, and it was all about them working together, creating the cosplay together, getting the photos together, you know, taking photography, you know, going shopping together, learning together, all about the experience between these two characters, just these two characters. And yes, they interacted with other characters, but it was really about just these two characters, their relationship with each other, and their journey to each different cosplay that Marin, the main girl within that she was doing, and how Gojo, the main dude in that anime, was helping her achieve that success. And it also had him learn how to do camera work and whatever else. But like, it was all about the journey with just them. And I think the difference with this one is you have our two main characters in Ririsa, and then Masamune or Akamura, whatever you want to call them. But you have these two characters, and it's a little bit about their journey together with Asamura or Akamura, whatever, you know, learning how to take photos and getting a camera and stuff. But it's mainly began to focus on these other characters. Like, we just got 2 episodes focused on Nagomi. We got a little bit of focus on Mayuri, the senpai, the sensei, you know, and her journey. And because it has pivoted so far away from just focusing on Ririsa and just focusing on Masamune and just them focusing on just their cosplay and everything else, I feel like it's just made this show a little bit worse because of it. And it's just not as good. I would say the past episodes, number 9, 10, and 11, I would probably bunch them up and say they've all been about a 5.5, maybe 6 out of 10. They just haven't been that great. Before that, though, I was laughing. I thought it was really, really good. I thought it was doing something really interesting. And I just feel like it's pivoted away from that. Now, the potential it has is to pivot back to what was making it good. But they need to really focus on just Ririsa and just Masamune. Like, if it's already been shown, too, that they could introduce a core character in Mikari and just say, oh, she doesn't exist. Okay, well, then she doesn't exist. Nagomi doesn't exist. The potential other harem girls don't exist. Let's just focus on these 2 characters. But anyways, you guys saw the episode. Let me know what you guys think. I think there was cute moments. I liked the moment on the train. I thought using the L word was cute, even though they don't quite understand it. Cute stuff, but just not up to snuff. That's how I feel. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.